After a car crash, a boy is trapped in a village where residents know nothing about the outside world. And when nothing could seem stranger, he realizes that the leader is in love with him. That's why today, Mr. Fox and Miss Rose, episodes 1 and 2. As you saw, we're nearly at 1 million subscribers. So remember, if you like the videos, you can support the channel by liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications. It's free, and it really helps me keep growing. Now let's get started. After a car accident, our protagonist Gao emerges badly injured. He doesn't notice the wild girl watching until she shoots an arrow at him. When the guy throws a stone and accidentally hurts her, she confronts him and knocks him out. First, let's see what happened the night before. When Gao leaves a club with a woman, he has to let go since some men are chasing him. Though his friends Jia and Qin arrive and offer help, but he prefers to handle it on his own. So he goes to his car to provoke the men. Later they drive down the road since our protagonist is a jewelry dealer and they want an emerald he obtained. But when a truck gets in the way, the guy goes flying off a cliff in his car, causing the accident we saw at the beginning. Later he wakes to the girl on top of him, who introduces herself as Xin, her tribe's leader. Though Gao can't believe she's serious since everything feels so old-fashioned. Then a woman named Yun tells him he's the first person to enter their village alive, and that's why he doesn't understand what he sees. However, the boy goes out to see the whole place, still believing that it's a film set. When Xin leaves him hanging from a rope and the women threaten him with weapons, he realizes they're serious. He's caged until the leader arrives to decide his fate, but she just threatens everyone with a fight. So they'll have to stay there until they decide something else. Meanwhile, his friends are still waiting for him to get home. The next day, he notices women lead the village while men handle the home. And what about the kids? Some even ask if they can eat it, but Yun tells them it's poisonous, so they'll go away. Then she tells him that she's the village astrologer. Besides, she couldn't leave because it's impossible to get through the forest. It's a miracle he survived so long, having been unconscious for 4 days. He reassures Jin he's not a threat, but wants to see his crashed car before swearing loyalty. She lets him go to Rio and shows him there's nothing to fear, since she believes the car is a beast. With a dance, she tricks him, claiming she tamed it so it won't attack. She convinces Jin to tame it as well, while he chooses a weapon to get rid of the girl. Although he has to hit the car so it doesn't discover his intentions, he ends up knocking out Sin by accident. Now he runs through the forest to escape. Gradually, he notices the compass fails and the car catches fire as gasoline leaks from the impacts. In the village, they see smoke and rush to find their leader unconscious, doing what they can to save her. When Gao hears the screams, he returns to handle everything, as the car could explode at any moment. So he covers himself with water to wake the girl up, getting her out of there before things get worse. On the other hand, he's losing hope of finding his friend alive, since they've searched the entire cliff. But Jia refuses to give up on the boy, and will do everything to convince others he's still alive. Later, our protagonist wakes up and notices he's being watched, but pretends to sleep to listen when Jin arrives, because he doesn't know if it was him who started the fire to kill Jin. Because if that's the case, they'll sacrifice him without mercy. So he has to keep a close watch on him. Then the girl arrives to do it herself, although Gao takes the opportunity to apologize for not protecting her, telling her a story about how the metal beast started spitting fire when she lost consciousness. And even though his tribe was there, only he was able to go into the flames to rescue her. She believes him and promises no one will harm him because she trusts him. At night, Gao talks about his plans after leaving the village, since selling the emerald will make him rich, without knowing that Jin is listening to him. So she sits next to him to tell him that they won't do anything he says. She tells him about the planets, as fate is about to change his life. And even though he doesn't believe her, because she sounds like a scammer from the real world, the woman says he should be grateful she values him, as she sees him as someone who fell from the sky. Although he finds it strange that she talked about the car, instead of treating it like a metal beast, just like everyone else. Sometime later, he goes to his cabin to get his phone, although it's useless to him since there's no signal. So he puts on some music, causing the leader to come in looking for the beast that's making noise. He tries to calm her so she won't destroy his phone, telling her it's just a toy. Then he takes out some headphones so they can both listen to the song on a swing. Since it's her first time hearing this, he explains that music helps people connect, then asks her to show him a way to escape, because in his world, there are also fierce beasts that will soon eat his friends, referring to the men who are after him to take the emerald he got. However, the girl says the only way back is through Jane's paintings. Although she falls asleep while our protagonist is talking to her, so she doesn't hear the whole story. Now he takes her to bed to check the room, hoping to find something that will help him escape from there. And he finds a small box with a piece of paper, thinking it's a map, but it's just a torn drawing of a woman. It's strange because she's wearing modern clothes. He also sees a stone that, when he shines his phone on it, has an inner glow. This reminds him of a story about a man who sold a star sapphire for a lot of money. So if it's the same stone, all his problems will be solved. He just needs to get out of there with it. When morning comes, he looks for the stone again to make sure it wasn't a dream. When he leaves, he returns it to her, wanting to do the right thing after she says she gave it to her mother. This leads him to think there must be a sapphire vein nearby. Then he shows her the phone camera to get her attention and convinces her to go to the mountain to take more pictures. Although his real intentions are to look around the whole area to find a cave where the vein might be. When they return to the cabin, Gao tries to convince her to stay together forever. Just as in the village where men cook, he takes instant noodles from his bag to make them, while the girl looks through his things and finds gloves she's never seen before. She nearly takes sleeping pills by accident and amuses herself with binoculars until the food is ready. Before letting her try, he asks about the stone and learns she's the only one with one. Maybe someone brought it from outside. And when he tries to get information about Yin's paintings, she tells him they don't know where she hides them. So our protagonist takes out some chopsticks to teach her how to use them. As he gathers his things, he gets an idea and lies to her. He says that a Little Prince book was a gift from his mother and that he'll trade it for the Starstone, since in his world, people give their most precious belongings to the ones they love the most. And even though she insists that a gift like that shouldn't be given away, the boy says his mother fought for justice against many beasts, so she had to leave him alone with the book. The only thing that comforts him is knowing Shin entered his life to make it better, even though she still doesn't understand much of what he says. Now the boy asks what could make her trade the stone for the book, and the only solution is for him to become her husband, even though he's not very good at love. So all he does is get nervous. On the other hand, Qin arrives at his house to show his friend that he discovered who the people were that attacked Gao on the road. Since one of them was a guy our protagonist competed with in Brazil to buy the emerald they're looking for. So it was all a planned attack to take from him what they couldn't get before. Later, the boy realizes he's been there for a week, and if he doesn't return, his friends will be in danger. So he tells Sin that he'll agree to become her husband in exchange for the Starstone, although it seems that all his belongings will also become hers. But that doesn't matter to Gao. The leader tells him she'll wait on the mountain where they once took pictures and watch the stars. At night, they lie on the grass and watch the sky. When the girl jumps on him to remove his clothes, Gao is terrified and confused, even though she claims she just wants to look at the stars. However, he starts running because he doesn't want to do anything indecent with the girl, so he goes all the way to the village to find someone to protect him. But when they run into one of the guards, she tells him that looking at the stars means trying to have a child. Since our protagonist doesn't want to get intimate with the leader, she asks for him to be locked up again. After a while, Jin visits him to find out why he didn't want to do it. So Gao tells her he thought they'd just watch the stars, but the girl still believes he'll see. It means making love while completely forgetting about the sky. So he explains that to do something like that, it has to be a bit more romantic, and confessing when it's snowing, or holding a wedding ceremony so that he'll accept her as his wife. The next day, the friends use a drone to investigate the forest where our protagonist is lost, until the device loses signal and crashes, which makes Kim think that the area has a magnetic field. And since there were electrical storms on the night of the accident, all of that could have caused the crash. On the other hand, she takes the boy to the forest because she wants to confess her love to him directly, but she ends up throwing chicken blood on him, thinking that's what he meant. With the snow, making our protagonist upset because he doesn't understand anything about being romantic. Then he falls into an animal trap, ending up hanging upside down. Meanwhile, the leader asks if he wants to be her husband, saying she'll leave him if he refuses. So Gao is forced to accept, even to gaze at the stars. However, she takes him back to the village faster by hand, so he doesn't try to escape again. Just then, when the boy sees some writing on the ground, he tricks her into looking the other way while he picks it up, since it's a piece of the drone. Because the writing he has was made by Xia a long time ago to identify the device. He remembers making a contract with a woman named Li, whom he meets every 15 days. Or will something go wrong? There are just 3 days until their next meeting, when she arrives to invite him hunting. So the boy agrees to go because if he gets lost in the forest, she will go look for him and he could follow her to the path on the other side. At night, the friends are at his house when Lin appears. Although Xia makes up a story that Gao went to the mountains to remember his mother, buying him a couple of days. But if he doesn't come back, they'll have to pay a lot of money for breaking the contract. Now the protagonist uses the phone distraction to get Jin to reveal there's a cave at the forest's end, taking him there, even though that might be the right way out of the magnetic field. He soon asks her to take him to the wine, since their wedding celebration is tomorrow. While talking to her, he drops the sleeping pills, hoping no one wakes up as he escapes. This was Mr. Fox and Miss Rose, episodes 1 and 2. Don't forget to like, comment about which other movies you want to see on the channel, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the upcoming videos.